With that being said, I got some dates here. Um, the NBA draft will take place on October 16th with early entry deadline August 17th. Free agency will open up on the 18th of October with moratorium periods on deals from the 19th to the 23rd. Early entry withdrawal dates October 6th, 10 days prior to the draft. That's very interesting. And free agency negotiations will start at 6 p.m. on October 18th.
I think all that is. To me, I kind of gotta wait and see because we don't really know how everything's gonna turn out. I mean, it's good that they set the certain dates down there, and we kind of, especially for the draft, because we kind of didn't know what was gonna go on with the draft. So it's good that we got a date for that and kind of to get players to be able to get in there and work out. But I think we kind of gotta get the season back first and get the season started and kind of get that out the way, and then see how everything kind of plays out. But it's good that I think that they set dates and there's dates and stuff there. But I think it's still kind of a wait and see approach for me.
Yeah, I don't really have too much to say on this. I'm on board with everything that you said there. According to Sham Sharani of The Athletic, Joakim Noah and the Clippers, plan on getting a deal done that will keep him with them for the rest of the season. This is just interesting to me because Joakim Noah never played a game for them. Like we talked highly of what he could bring to that team when they made that signing. Obviously, this is pre COVID, but like the fact that he gets it, I don't know. Does that seem a little desperate of the Clippers to do that? Just the fact that he gets that type of deal done with them without even showing them what he could do, or maybe do they just feel they seen what they saw when they worked him out and they just feel confident?
I think it's a little bit of both. They kind of probably seen what they saw when they worked them out, and I'm pretty sure being in the Eastern Conference all those years, Doc Rivers kind of knows who Joakim Noah is and kind of what he can bring to the table. They're not asking him for too much, so it's not too much of a stretch to kind of just sign him for the rest of the year because you kind of just bring them in to fit in with what's going on. Now, if you kind of bring him in to be your starting center or maybe your definitive backup center, then I may question it a little bit, but. I, they probably just like how he fits with the team and stuff like that. So I think it's not too much of a risk, especially like I said, because Doc Rivers knows the guy and knows probably what he's going to bring to the table. So I think like it's weird because he never played the game with them, but they probably searched the market too and figured that there's probably no one else out there they're going to sign. I think them in their head, another thing that they're thinking about is they kind of playing with house money. They don't necessarily need them, but I think that it'll be good for maybe the locker room and just where he can get in and fit in. So I think they're looking at it as it's a win-win. If it doesn't work out, we didn't necessarily need him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I mean, what's the thing we said about the Clippers all year? They got a bunch of dogs on that team. They're just adding another one in Joakim Noah. I think a lot of people forgot about the level of player, the level of intensity, anyway, that Joakim Noah brings when he's on the court. Specifically because we didn't get a chance to really see that during his tenure with the New York Knicks. He dealt with some shoulder issues after signing the deal over there. He played pretty well, when he was down in Memphis. But you remember him from those Chicago days, and what he brought every time he was on that floor. I think that's probably what the Los Angeles Clippers are banking on, and more than likely they just want to have a big. I don't know if he'll be able to match, the footwork and the speed of Anthony Davis, but to be able to have a big man on Anthony, that size on Anthony Davis, that Montrezl Harrell can defend Anthony Davis fairly well, but to be able to have somebody that can match that size that Anthony Davis and even a Dwight Howard can bring is something that I think is gonna to prove very valuable for the Los Angeles Clippers.
Definitely. And you know what you get at Joakim Noah. He's never gonna cheat you with effort. So if anything, it's like you said, it's another body to throw at Anthony Davis is someone that's gonna make it physical for him. And so that's just gonna make it tough for him. Like we said, Anthony Davis doesn't have that much playoff experience. So if you get a veteran on him like that, that's gonna make it real tough and put a body on him, not let him be too sweet in the lane doing all that stuff. Definitely gonna hit him if he needs to, not hurt him, but hit him, put a body on him like that. So I think, like you said, it's a win-win for them.
Yeah. Some other interesting stuff is, Victor Oladipo plans to make his return for the Indiana Pacers. It's interesting because this is, short notice with everything that's going on. With it's going to be 2-week camp before they get back into play and everything. Somebody in Victor Oladipo's situation is more than likely not enough time for him to be able to get into the groove of things. And as an organization, and probably as a fan of that organization, you definitely are a little worried of him, maybe retweaking that knee
Yeah, yeah.
with how quick he comes back.
Yeah, same. Or you could look at it as maybe the time off is more time for him to kind of rest his body. I'm not sure. Did he come? Did he come back for like a couple games before the season kind of had ended?
I don't believe he did. Maybe
Uh,
I'm wrong. I don't believe he did.
I thought he did.
I
So
know he
you
was
think
close.
you you think maybe with the short training camp to kind of get back in shape, you think that gives his time that had gave his time more his body more time to rest. So with his body getting more time to rest, you think maybe it might be good for him. You can look at it how maybe you're looking at it, or maybe they're looking at it as, hey, he was injured with a season end injury from last year, which kind of took him a year to get back. So we given his time, we gave his body more time to kind of get himself together. So with the extra time, maybe you can put him out there. But I think it's a risk too, just the short turnaround and just some players who played the season all year is kind of concerned about the short layoff. So I think for someone who hasn't been in the season and been out for a year, they should be highly concerned about him coming back with such a short time.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you, and I've definitely like kind of pushed back on your thinking of it a little bit in the past in regards to guys like Russ and everything, with them maybe coming back too quickly with what they deal with and everything, and putting them in the stratosphere of possibly getting injuries. But as far when it comes to Victor Oladipo, the fact that he sat out so long, hasn't really had a chance to go through full basketball activities. I'm definitely concerned. I'm concerned about him. Maybe bringing some injuries back, retweaking that knee. And I'm also concerned about the Indiana Pacers, because the Indiana Pacers had a fairly good year. Victor Oladipo is their best player. Number one, we don't know if he's going to be staying, but I mean, um, Nate McMillan's a heck of a coach, and it just that's a team I think people need to look out for. But with him, not being able to play, I just I wonder how far they. Well, if he does get hurt, I wonder how far they're going to be able to go.
Yeah, definitely. I think. Please excuse this fly, guys. He's been bothering me. I've been being attacked by the whole segment. But yeah, definitely. I think it's a risk. I think what they really kind of should do if they want to bring him back, I think they should kind of see how his body reacts to the short training camp that they're going to have. I think you kind of monitor him for each day, see how his body reacts to it. If they think it's okay for him to go after the 12-day training camp or whatever the case may be, then I think you throw him out there. But I think you shouldn't say it's definitely that he's going to play, but I think maybe you put him out there and see if his body reacts the right way and if you can put him out there. And I think they have any type of concerns of what they've seen in practice or anything like that. I think they definitely shut it down.
Yeah, I agree. And with that going forward, we did talk about those rings earlier. Tim Bontemps had reported that the data that's being collected from those rings, teams will not have access to that data, but they will be notified if the ring detects a person wearing it, either at high risk for or showing signs of coronavirus infection. So I thought that was just something interesting to bring up here.
Yeah, definitely. I think that whole ring situation is going to be really interesting because if they really work, it's going to be something that the public might need. You know what I mean? Like the whole world could possibly need that right now. So, but I think they'll be highly expensive if they do put them out there. But I think this is a good test run to see if they really work, and if they really work, then maybe that's something that they bring out to the whole world because that can help everybody right now.
Absolutely. In terms of guys sitting out the first, another. Well, this is really the first official name of somebody who doesn't plan to return to play. That is Davis Bertans of the Washington Wizards. He has decided to sit out. I didn't realize that he's actually entering free agency. Or he's another guy that had a very productive year this year for the Washington Wizards. I wonder what his market's going to look like. He's a guy that's dealt with 2 ACL injuries. Um, So, he averaged 16 points per game on 42% from three. They said he's still going to participate in the training with the team, but as far as actually playing the games, he has no plans of doing that.
I think it was definitely a business decision, if you ask me. I mean, I didn't know he was still going. I did hear that he wasn't going to play, but I think if you're still going to go and train with the team, to just not get out there and play, I don't think your main concern was I guess the COVID problem. I know a lot of people wasn't going because they're concerned about COVID issues and stuff like that. But if you're still going to go and be in the bubble, to just not play, I think that's definitely a business decision. I think he was kind of hot, a hot item, kind of, for lack of a better word, right now at the trade deadline, with his ability to shoot threes and stretch the floor. So his market's going to be interesting because I think, what is he, like 6'11", 7 foot? So someone at that height who can stretch the floor, I think he will be coveted during the free agency, especially with it's not, the free agency class is not that deep. I think there's Anthony Davis and then kind of maybe I kind of fall off there. So I think teams who are looking for someone that can stretch the floor, maybe like the Lakers, something like that, the Clippers, teams like that, the Rockets, he definitely would be coveted by them. So I think this was kind of a business decision. Like, yeah, I'm gonna stay in shape, but I'm not gonna go out there and get hurt because I may have a lot of money on the line in a couple months.
Yeah, I completely agree with you there. The other big name, and this came out today, that doesn't plan to return. I don't. He's not even going to be in the bubble. Is Trevor Ariza of the Portland Trailblazers. Trevor Ariza was, we all remember the amazing job he did in Houston the year that they had the Warriors on the ropes. He was a big boost for that Portland team this year when they traded for him. But I'd have no issue with him sitting out once I heard what his reason is. You really bothered over there, man.
Yeah, his flies attacking me.
um. Anyway. Yeah. So he's going through a custody battle. With his son, his 12-year-old son's mother. And basically, she has a court granted, a court ordered a court order of 1 month visitation period during the league's quarantine of teams in Orlando left, for a reason. So he just feels like it's more important that he spends time with his son than go out and play. More power to him. I have no problem with that at all. I completely understand it.
Same. I don't think anyone can really argue with that, especially like you said, when you get the facts about what's really going on out there. I mean, also another thing on top of that, I think he's considering is that the Blazers, like, they have a chance to make the playoffs and they're fighting for a playoff spot, but the likelihood that they make a long run or a championship run is kind of not high. So so I think he's probably looking like, do family's more important. I mean, maybe if it was a championship run, but probably not. But like I said, with the Blazers, probably if they get in, probably be out in the first round. I think he's probably like, yeah, I'd probably have no problem sitting this one out.
The Blazers got a bunch of players coming back that weren't expected to play, right?
Yes, but I don't think they
First
take
round. Who are they playing first round? The
the
Lakers. The
Lakers.
Lakers. You think the Lakers are going to be happy about seeing the Blazers with all those players coming back?
That's not what I'm saying, but I'm saying the chances of them making a long, even if they get past the Lakers, now you got to get past the Rockets and the Clippers, and then whoever they match up with in the finals. So I'm not saying that they're not going to be a competitive team. I'm saying that the chances of them like winning the championship, it's probably kind of slim right now. So I think he's probably looking like, and then with all the players coming back, this is the thing we kind of talked about before. Like, where does Melo kind of fit in there with all the players coming back, and then who goes to the bench with him or Trevor Ariza? So he's probably looking like, hey, you guys are getting a lot of players back. My family's more important. I mean, we know family's the number one thing here. But I'm just saying, maybe in the back of his head a little bit, he's like, hey, it wasn't a championship team right now anyway, so I don't think it's kind of worth the risk.
Hey, is what it is. Like I said, I have no problem with what he doing. We're gonna have to note this. Uh, Hey, you're right. I don't expect them to beat the Lakers, but man, that just sounded so disrespectful. I'm sorry.
No, they're definitely going to make it competitive, and the Lakers are definitely not going to be happy to play them. Especially, I think what Dame gave him like 50 the night Kobe retired or something like that. So they definitely don't want to see them. But my thing is he's kind of looking at the bigger picture.